Howdy, howdy. Welcome everybody to tonight's big event. I am Stidle24 and I am joined by Chef Billy, and we are going to be bringing you the action for the GGNA Intermediate Finals. We've got Sakura and we showed up in lobby and ready to go at it. Billy, I am so pumped for this evening. Are you ready for some great Overwatch?
It is my first grand final here at GitGud in the North American region. So I am, of course, very stoked. I have seen a couple of these teams throughout the weeks of competition. One name that really pops out to me is for the side of We Showed Up. Kangry has shown a very nasty Ana in previous weeks. I don't know if the Egyptian healer will be able to come out and play tonight, but if they are able to come out and play, it could be a very anti-fun night for Sakura.
I see what you did there.
Yeah.
We are going to be starting things off on Lijiang Tower, is what it's looking like. So speaking of that support lines, what kind of supports do you see coming out here? We have those brig changes, the diva buffs, and everything that recently came out have been kind of shaking up the meta just a little bit.
Still seeing a lot of Brigitte though. Even with the nerfs to the being able to stack that armor on before they go in, like for a Genji or a Sombra or an Echo to get in there and try and get some assassination kills and then get out. That's no longer allowed. But there is a little bit of a buff to the shield health and also the time that it's going from 5 seconds to 8 seconds for the regeneration of that shield. So should Brigitte's shield crack, it's going to take 8 full seconds for it to come back. And I think that people are really kind of playing around that. And I think they're willing to risk it because still the kid of Brigitte can't be beat. That CC ability, the Inspire uptime healing, also facilitating brawly comps. And we've seen, a real mixture here as 1.49, the new patch has come out. We've seen Double Shield. We've seen Ryan Zarya. I saw Winston Zarya.
Yeah.
I saw a lot of dive. I saw a Winston Zarya dive early this morning across the pond. And I mean, it absolutely facilitates Winston getting in and getting out. So the sky's the limit as far as the tank line. I think we're going to be seeing a lot of Ashe and Genji though in the DPS core, unless somebody has some kind of niche pick that they have for each of these maps here at Lijiang. I mean, obviously, we might see a Pharah, we might see a Symmetra. It just depends on what the teams decide to do as we go into these maps.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if we saw maybe a Mei or a Pharah out of Asupect. Definitely heroes that they like to dabble in a little bit for the side of Sakura. But Sakura's the team coming in from the winners bracket. They rode their skill through. We Showed Up, however, got knocked out of the losers bracket and had to fight their way back, and now they're here at the finals. So I'm gonna put you on the spot. Who are you going with? No takebacks, no nothing. Are you gonna the winners bracket champion or the scroungy ones that fought up out of the loser bracket?
You know how I feel about calling a match before we go into control. I think this is the outlier of the maps. I think that this could go more than 5 maps. Personally, I'm going to say, based upon what I've seen from both teams, I think that We Showed Up has a very good chance of taking this in 8 maps.
8 maps.
Or 9.
Or 9? Oh man, we were talking about what if we were doing a first of 5 earlier.
Yeah.
Possibility of 12, 13 matches. This is not Valorant. This is Overwatch. Let's keep it to 5 or 6 if we can. I mean, of course, I have no issue watching more Overwatch, but there's others that wanna come and play. We've got the expert finals lined up in the back. We don't want to make them wait for too long.
No, we don't. I mean, lots of death happening here. Yep. So as we see on the screen here, there might be a bit of a restart here as something might be wrong with either the lobby or the lobby setup. And so we're going to see
probably something
that happens.
Goals or something like that. But you're going to get to look at our faces for just a little bit longer. Don't worry about it. I shaved.
I'm glad that you shaved Scheidel.
I
I'm
did. It
glad
turned
that
a
you
little bit
did.
off the edges, you know? I was getting
Right.
a little too out there.
I was getting shaggy as well. I have to make sure that the headset it's nice and snug on my dome, and maybe just a little bit of stubble, maybe kind of like the Velcro action, so it doesn't slide all around when I start getting animated in my analysis. But we're gonna go ahead and try and start this again. And now we're being shown Night Market. So this is going to be
Yes,
a map here that
I love that market.
yeah, I love Night Market too because you have the ability to get Symmetra and aggress onto the point so fast. So I would be very interested to see, are we going to see the Symmetra come out and either aggress fast or actually use the Symmetra to go into the windows and get onto the point first?
I'm not gonna be surprised at all if the Symmetra comes out. There really is no better way to get your entire team to the point quicker.
And as I was talking in the pre-show here for us, Kangri is one of the better Ana players, and I am going to get my wish. I do remember Sita and Seajust just absolutely having their way with the front line of their opponents when Kangri was on this Egyptian healer, and I am very excited to see what they bring to the map now.
Well, let's go ahead and dive on in with the teams. There you go. We showed up. We'll be in the red. Sakura is going to be playing from the blue. As we show up, you see we showed up, was able to get onto the point extremely quick with the support of that Symmetra teleporter. As they push aggressively out into that first chokehold to find Sakura a little bit of wanting. They're going to use that immortality field fairly early from Wong. And now Asupek going to try and pepper in a couple of rockets on this Pharah through these windows. Just, finding the kills they need. That first kill onto the Ana, of course, taking out one of the support line. There's another onto setup. And that's the door thrown wide open for Sakura.
I mean, just nice controlled play. They went ahead and let We Showed Up take the point. But now, letting Asupek on this Far Mercy, getting the value, almost has a barrage already online. And there's the flip before 20% was even taken by We Showed Up. So Sakura really ready to get into this and show the intermediate division what's up.
Yeah, and this is kind of the threshold where you start seeing those tactical disengages or maybe approaching the point a little bit slower so that you can allow your DPS, your tanks, to make space and find a couple of picks. What a great halt right there from Sunbun to allow for Asupek to set up this barrage. He's able to find Kangri, and Kangri, as good of an Ana as they may be, not getting a chance to play the game today. But it will be We Showed Up that's showing up in the kill feed. Mainly over here, it's Speedy going insane on this Symmetra.
Yeah, but the point progress is still going in the favor of Sakura, and they haven't cleaned up yet. Clearing it now, 47%. That's a pretty good stall coming from Sakura, and We Showed Up now has a couple of very good ultimates online to stop the progress from coming into them. Awesome.
He's back. Billy's mic's dying a little bit there. That's alright, the Gravitic Flex coming in from Nightmare is going to be just that, a dream for Sakura and a nightmare for We Showed Up. Cheeky little sleep dart at the end from Kangri, but really just a last-ditch effort to kind of grab a little bit of extra percentage as Sakura retakes.
Indeed, and I mean, that is a very nice and quick flip back for Sakura. Really only having to invest the Gravitic Flux going in from Nightmare, and you've got three very fantastic ultimates online ready to go for this defense. The biggest one I think right now is Supercharger to deny the entrance coming in, but you've got to watch out for a Nano Blossom or maybe a Nano Gravitic Flux.
Well, the teleport up to the back of the point is successful from Crazy as the Gravitic Flux lifts some FP in the air. He gets taken out by Sunbun. So they're not able to commit that Death Blossom into Sakura, but We Showed Up, able to take the point without it. But with that barrage coming in from a Super, that's all that they needed, but they just don't have the bodies on the point. Goopy and Speedy gonna go ahead and take it, and We Showed Up has the point.
Absolutely, and they didn't invest the Death Blossom into that fight, so I think that that's a win condition right now to really stop the ingress coming from Sakura, and Sita, you know, depending on if he gets a couple of really good fire strikes in this, might be able to build up to another shatter and maybe flatten out Nova and a Bob.
Very gutsy teleport from Crazy right there at the very end, just to make sure that he gets out of the fight. But Sakura really has just a definite hold here. I mean, the winning of that fight, Asupek found 3 kills, Nightmare found 2, and then he's 1 for Nova, but a big pulse bomb from Speedy. Crazy needs to get in there with that Death Blossom.
Yeah, absolutely, he does. And I mean, Sita with a couple of swings of his hammer might be able to lay a shatter down.
Oh, but the Death Blossom comes out. The Immortality Field's there for a brief moment, but it's not going to be enough. We showed up at 99% for Sakura, going to be taking the point back and putting us into definite last fight territory.
Yeah, Sita's going to have this shatter to maybe stop Nova or maybe Nightmare coming in on the Wrecking Ball. Maybe also to lay out some of the supports.
Senna there being very cheeky, hiding in the bushes, but has to charge back to point. Nova is able to find an early kill on the Speedy, but it cost them their life. To Goopy, big shatter from Senna is able to put the Wrecking Ball onto the ground, and with that, We Showed Up now has the kills they need, but nothing to deal with Asupek in the sky, unless it's a man with a hammer. Senna able to find the kill, and now just getting that Mercy kill at the very end makes it impossible for Sakura to get onto the point.
What a fantastic boop coming from Goopy Spoopy there. Getting the last minute boop to stop the recontest and keep the overtime wick burning. And We Showed Up, maybe on the back of having a little bit more games under their belt coming into this grand final, might be clicking on all cylinders a little bit better than what Sakura are showing with right now. They might be showing a little bit of a non-playing rust right now.
Yeah, and this is a big game for Sakura. Sakura is able to win this. They're able to go through this entire tournament undefeated. Their entire record never losing a match. So for We Showed Up to come in here and take up map off of them off the bat coming up from the losers bracket, it's a big deal.
Yeah, indeed it is. And I mean, looking at what the composition is coming out, it looks like Asupek is going to stay on this far right and have the Mercy pocket. But it looks like that We Showed Up is going to go ahead and mirror that and bring their own Far Mercy out with Kangri and Crazy bringing out the same pain.
Oh man, and both Tracers, Nova and Speedy, finding the Winstons on either team. It's really just a battle of the DPS at this moment, but with 2 direct rockets, Asupek is able to take Kersey out of the fight completely. Big Rez comes in onto Seta. Seta needs to stay alive, however, but getting taken out by Nova for a second time. just not able to get out of the point in time, and We Showed Up has to disengage and allow the point to go to Sakura.
Yeah, absolutely. I think a tactical reset there is exactly what is called for. Get your forces back together. You are coming up close onto a pulse bomb from Speedy, and I think maybe landing that onto the onto either Wong, Austin on the Ana, or maybe Agape, if they can get them down when the Far Mercy has to touch down, might be the way to start to aggress on this point.
Ooh. But an amazing swing and pound coming out from just is able to open up the kill onto Nova. Knocked up into the air, not really able to react in any way, and now going across the point to deal with the Diva. Speedy's able to find a couple of kills with that pulse bomb, and that's going to be it for We Showed Up. A very quick retake with the help of Hammond, which for me is a dream come true. I love seeing the Wrecking Ball.
You know, we had that conversation during the fight for redemption, and you never really got to see your favorite hero come out, but now you're seeing him in spades. just giving us a little bit of a master clinic, being able to sling and kill at will. The mine's available. Also, you've got dueling Valkyries about to come out. Wong Austin, though, with this nano boost, might be able to keep up one of the main tanks in the mid fight, but they're going to go ahead and go onto the Winston.
Yeah, they're throwing that on the Sun Bunny. He's got the Primal Rage, but this nano boost just allows that tickle cannon, if you will, to do so much damage. Look at that, finding Kangri now. Has the Primal Rage to stall if needed, but really just needs to be careful about Kersey's barrage. Seta has a Primal Rage themselves, so Sakura now into a bit of a fight of attrition, like the goats of the good old days. No doubt this fight's gonna last for a while. Sunbun able to find Goopy Poopsie, and Aspect is able to take the Primal Rage off of the table, and with 3 kills, Sakura has man advantage in spades. Seta comes back to the table, but Aspect can easily take Kangri out. Kersey gonna try and even the scales up with that barrage, but gets taken out by Nightmare after only a kill. Sunbun still has this Primal Rage, but a big beat comes out from Goopy Poopsie to keep We Showed Up in the fight, and with control, but getting knocked off of the map, Sakura and Sunbun should be able to take this back.
Yeah, absolutely. And see, just just holding on to those mines, I think that they're going to save it for the next fight. As the stall is still being maintained here, Asupek taking down Crazy and Kangri respectively. There's still a lone Lucio steer here on the point. Now 3 on the point, 5 versus 3 on the point. And I mean, we're approaching 99% progress for the side from We Showed Up.
He just came in and got a 2K on a ground and pound. Nightmare and Sunbun, however, going to be answering back very, very quickly. And although We Showed Up really has had quite the presence in keeping the point, Sakura just able to dish out a little bit more damage, mitigate the spawns just a little bit better. Oh man, Asupek just going crazy on the back line here. Able to find Goopy Poopsie up on the wall. The self-destruct off point, really just for the remake, of course, for Nightmare to keep themselves in the fight. We Showed Up still on point with the Tracer, and finally, after overtime has been ticking for quite a minute, we'll see the point go back to Sakura.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, 99 to 48% about. Barrage is online again for Asupek. I think taking a little bit of self-damage there to help Agape get a little bit of charge towards the Valkyrie. However, looking at the ultimates right now, Seta, not anywhere near the Primal Rage that's going to be needed to really force the people off the point here. But as we see just absolutely being a menace to society here on the
guard. Man. So close to finding himself a couple of cheeky boofs, and the only downside is he's been taking the same approach to that fight every single time. Kangri now on the Mercy, gonna have to dump herself off the edge of the map, but Sunbun's there with a tickle cannon to take him out of the fight.
Absolutely. Speedy looks like he's setting up for a pulse bomb run here as we are approaching 90% for Sakura. You do have pulse bomb and barrage available. Nothing else really on the board, but Speedy and Crazy are going to have the same ultimates, so there might be a flip point here.
Nightmare, the hungry diva, finds the pulse bomb and gobbles it up. Speedy now with no pulse bomb. Asupek able to find the barrage on the Seta as See Just Minds find Nova into the background. Agape is able to bring Long Austin back into the fight, and once again, Asupek taking Goopy Poopy out of the engagement as well, almost stopping the barrage, but Kersey able to find the kill onto their counterpart, Farah. Sunbun now on point with the pocket of a Mercy and the hope of a dream, but not able to stay alive as Seta takes him out. Nightmare now there for the trickle in his last fight territory for Sakura. The Diva Bomb's online for Nightmare, looking for the opportunity to demolish the enemy team, throws it into the point, but doesn't find anything. And now We Showed Up has bodies on point, control on their favor. And it looks like Asupek is going to be going to work. Finds the pharmacy out. That's 2 down. He is able to take Agape out of the fight as Goopy finds Asupek and proves that supports can kill too. Nova trying to find something and almost out of pulse bomb. 94% using the recall and almost out of utility. And taking the back of Sunbun, who's on this Primal Rage. Pulse bomb finally up, looking for the Winston, finds the stick, finds the kill. It's a double! Sunbun now here to secure the point. Has to take care of the Doomfist and the Hammond, and has the help of Agape on this Lucio. And Asupek, who has just been a terror on this Farah, coming back to the point to get the kills. They take the overtime, they take control, and they take Lijiang Tower's point.
Ooh, boy, I mean, that is going to tie us up here 1-1. This might be the beginnings of a barn burner, Steidel. This is going back
already burning.
Forth. Woo, it's already burning.
It is already burning.
It is licking the ceiling right now. But now, looking at going into Control Center, are we going to see a shift in the tank lines coming from both We Showed Up and Sakura? This really lends itself to Ryan Zarya in the best way possible. And I like to see May Reaper here. I like to see cordoning off of the main tank or anybody for that matter to really solidify point presence and put the pressure on.
Ooh, interesting choice. We're going to be going with a McCree Junkrat for Sakura and a Reaper Junkrat for We Showed Up.
You've really got to be careful, though, Steidel. Putting Junkrat into a Zarya, that's just going to get the charge up quickly. And unless you're going to focus down fast, especially with Kangri, with the anti-nades being thrown at random here, you know, that's going to be a lot of sustain that's not going to be able to be put onto your team. And I mean, getting Zarya glowing is not a very good thing. So, got to watch out.
Oh, watch out indeed, Speedy! Speedy getting down to 5 health there after trying to get a cheeky drop onto the enemy team. Now teleporting into the back on top of the billboard, and he's going to be able to find that initial pick, looking for the follow-up, but his team has already done it all. We Showed Up here to secure Legion Tower, finds first take, and is definitely ahead in ult percentage.
Absolutely. Sita is just putting some serious work in on this Reinhardt, already 7% to that first Earth Shatter. I think this is where you want to have him, though, unless you're going to get a lot of value out of the Zarya with the right or the left clicks, getting the Graviton Surge up. Looking at the other side, Ryan Sigma. Ooh.
And Ryan Sigma definitely doing their due diligence, but they're really just making space for the big stars of the show, Asupect and Nova, who have gone on a tear, finding themselves 5 kills between the two of them. One they gave out to Agape on the Lucio, but now they've got 4 ultimates on board.
Indeed, I mean, but 50% was captured in that first take of the control point here in Control Center. And they're going to have a 4-pack of ultimates of their own to deal with the pressure. Tire's going to come out from Carzzy.
Let's see what it's got, Billy. Going out for the flank, decides to go main, but gets taken out there at the very end. The sound barrier just not going to allow any damage to come through. However, the shatter that matters is Sun Buns to have fun. What a play by the Reinhardt for Sakura.
Yeah, absolutely. And that was all really set up by that Gravitic Flux from Nightmare, just laying everybody into a perfect little row of people to be smashed.
Yeah, now this chokehold is this choke is one of the hardest chokes to get through in Legion's history, or the entire map, in my opinion. Oh, but not if you got a Graviton! See, just throwing the Graviton out, and Kangri gonna throw the Nano Boost out there and allow Carzzy to just absolutely demolish Sakura. So they may have been able to grab themselves some percentage on the point, but they gotta walk into a Death Blossom to get it back.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, Speedy showing a lot of resilience here, and you know, using the lifesteal to maximum benefit while being aggressive. But let me tell you what, Kangri on this Ana right now, the anti-nades, you should never not play Ana ever again, Kangri, because you are just absolutely lighting up the stat sheet with your damage or your healing denied.
Not only healing denied, but big anti-nade just came through from Kangri, allowing for Speedy to use that Death Blossom, but the Coalescence from Long Austin still alive, allowing for Agape to get a 2K. And there's the support line for Sakura, really coming in big, allowing for Nova to find the Deadeye, and the kills to just trickle in for the rest of the team. Now, at 82%, another point switch.
Indeed, and I'm liking what I'm seeing coming out from Sakura. You know, they're holding on to ultimates as they need them. I think Long Austin absolutely perfectly timed in keeping up the team while Speedy dropped that Death Blossom. And once again, you know, we have this choke here. How are they going to be able to aggress? Because they do not have that Graviton Surge again.
Nah, Speedy went for a creative flank, but got caught out by Asupect and Nova, who dealt with him in quite a quick manner, and that really gave Nova the flank that he needed to find that kill on Carzzy. And now Sunbun with the shatter, the time bank is in his favor. Nothing can really be done for We Showed Up at the end of this match. Oh, the shatter, the solo shatter for Speedy, just to make sure the Reaper couldn't go anywhere.
Yeah, and that looks like it's going to clear it up here, Steidel, as they take Lijiang Tower 2-1, and they go up 1-0 in the series here in our grand finals of the intermediate division. And it was back and forth for all 3 maps. Nobody really wanting to relinquish control of the point. I think right now, DPS for Sakura probably has a leg up on We Showed Up, but I don't think that Control Center necessarily is the best judge of that. As I always say, it's the outlier of the maps. And I want to see what happens when we get into more traditional team-based tactics coming out from our escorts, our assaults, our hybrids.
Yeah, I if you've ever seen me cast, I've said this perspective before. I know that control point has to be the first point played because you can't draw and all this other wonderful hoopla on the back end with red tape and rules or whatever. But it's always my least favorite to watch, especially if it's the first time that I've seen a team. Thankfully, I've seen these teams play before, but if it's the first time you see a team, like it lends towards you get to see a little bit of the tanks because the space is needed, but you really just get to see a lot of the DPS. And when it comes to the escort, when it comes to the assault maps, when it comes to a 2CP or a hybrid map, sorry, that's when the supports, the tanks really get their chance to start making the bigger plays and really get there's a lot more intricacy in how each role has to play throughout the map. And one thing that I did want to talk about a little bit is about the DPS that we've seen. A lot of projectile, a little bit of hit scan from Nova there on the end, but we're going to be moving into Junkertown for our next map. And Junkertown, traditionally a map where you find a lot of Ashe, a lot of Widow, a lot of Hanzo. The snipers, the long sightlines really come out to play.
Mm-hmm. I think this also gets us into the micro and macro of this team based game. Being able to see, when can you be aggressive? When do you need to kite back and kind of play it a little bit slow? And when do you need to go into full retreat and really re-marshal your resources? That's where I find the best play, and especially at this elo here, I think that's when it's really being ingrained and they're really starting to understand why you do the things that you do. And I think that we're going to see Sita and Sunbun really have a field day with each other. I think that the two main tanks are going to be the stars here as far as who is going to be able to facilitate their DPS into the positions to win.
Yeah, and on that fact, we are actually going to be having a substitution. The flex DPS for We Showed Up is going to be coming in. So we're going to see Autocon take to the stage, replacing Kurzi. So the Genji player coming in.
I
That's his
do
favorite.
remember.
That's his favorite play. His favorite hero.
Yeah. I mean, and in this map, it can really lend itself to a Genji player, especially if you're running an Orisa. I've seen a lot of halt dashes that have been garnering, 35, 40% towards a Dragon Blade just with one halt. So, if you're going to run the double shield with the Genji and an Ashe, as is really what has developed into the standard meta right now, we haven't seen Baptiste really come out yet. We haven't seen Brigitte come out yet. We've seen Ana, we've seen Lucio, we've seen Murphy and Moira. So, are they kind of tending away from what the meta is, or was that just a control point specific composition that they wanted to run?
I think that I think that it definitely leans more towards the control point specific composition that you wanted to run, because the Mercy pick, for instance, definitely coming out to accompany the far out to enable that DPS in order to kind of overpower there, because Asupek, very good Pharah, put a Mercy on their back. Now they're a very good Pharah that's very hard to kill, so on and so forth. And even the Moira, when it comes to control center, the comps got a lot brawlier. Of course, Moira come out. We did see a Baptiste very briefly on the first point of Lijiang Tower, but very quickly We Showed Up, realized that wasn't the pick. Need to go to the Moira. Need to get a different support out there. But I wouldn't be surprised if we don't see much Baptiste. I think that the utility of getting the quick Moira ult, the sound barrier for the Gravitic Flux, and just all around benefit of having an Ana. Just kind of trumps the Baptiste. The Immortality field just doesn't really, and the Ant Matrix, they don't really play into it for me unless you're really going hard on the hit scan.
Right. What I want to see is, on defense, could we see Ana Zen then? The anti-nade plus the Discord orb, giving you that 30% bonus from anybody that shoots onto your target. That could be a lethal pairing plus a Transcendence to negate the Gravitic Flux that we're pretty sure we're going to see. As we head into Junkertown now, I'm wanting to see a sniper. I want to see a
I
sniper come
agree.
out from the defense. I want to see them have the bravado and the confidence in their game to really bring out their best. And I don't remember if I saw Asupect or Nova bring out a Widow the last time I saw them. I do remember an Ash coming out the last time that I saw, though.
I have seen Nova on the Widowmaker as well as the Ash. Um, but as we go into Junkertown, we are still going to be having Sakura in the blue, and we showed up in the red, which means that we showed up will be setting the pace of this match. They'll be attacking first.
I mean, I like it. I like that Sakura decided that they wanted to go ahead and go on to the defense first, as we take a look at the closed takeaway station here in sunny Australia.
Bummer, I'm hungry.
It's a bummer. I could go for some noodles right now. Dim sum also sounds tasty, but what also sounds tasty is looking at what we're seeing from we showed up on this attack. Speedy's going to show us the Southern Belle. Maybe I'm looking at the the tank line and wondering, are you going to go that mobile?
I want it.
Stop it.
Okay, no. We're getting a almost full-on cyber dive from We Showed Up right now, and I am oodles of fun for it. I am just. It is a great day to be Steidel 24 because this is what I want to see. Great scouting coming out from Speedy to kind of kick things off. Slow start, but interesting comp.
Indeed, I think that you use Just to disrupt the back line of Sakura. Oh, what a halt! Oh
Not
my
only
gosh.
what a halt, but the ground and pound into the halt, into the Widowmaker's shots, but still Sakura able to find the kills they need by banding together and not going out from. But what just happened, Nova? What?
What shot was that, Nova? Holy cow! Yeah, that's one quick way to stop having a sniper battle on the field is just to click the head that thought was safe and Speedy, yeah, made him switch almost immediately, and that is huge. Speedy's gonna go ahead and bring the Doomfist out, so there's gonna be some definite brawl coming out here from the side from We Showed Up.
Yeah, and that Baptiste from Agape, the one that we said wouldn't happen, is there doing big business. Finds C-Just and is able to use that amplification matrix to allow his team to find even more kills in Autocon. Having a bit of an issue on this Genji finding anything against this double shield composition.
Absolutely, I think that's where you have to run the Orisa with it to get the halt dashes through it, and hopefully getting a dash reset if you can happen to secure some kind of a kill through it. I mean, Sita is going to be able to disrupt them a little bit more with the Primal Rage, maybe saving it if he happens to go down low, but Nano Boost is available.
Nano Boost is available, and once again, we're seeing Team Sakura use these halts to their advantage, but they are able to. We Showed Up is able to take out Nova at the very beginning of that engagement, and that takes Bob off of the field completely. And now, Seta with the Tickle Cannon, able to just kind of walk through that back line. And Sakura really only able to mitigate things at this moment, have to allow the payload to push.
Absolutely, and that was all facilitated by a wonderfully placed Nano Boost from Kangri. Once again, one of the stars of this team from We Showed Up, able to facilitate and get the damage in to Sakura, taking down not only the Ash, but also the Orisa. That's a clean fight win if I ever saw one.
Not only a clean fight win, but they're continuing the aggression just enough to allow themselves to take that first point without another fight by putting that Winston onto the front line.
Absolutely, and getting Autocon into the mix, and he got the Dragon Blade through, really denying the chance for Asupek to pull his own katana out of its sheath.
Yeah, Supek's looking for the kills, able to find the Doomfist on Speedy, but the Primal Raging Winston making him think twice about using that blade, as Nova from the high ground finds the shots that are needed to take two members of We Showed Up out of the fight, and Asupek now into the back line. Oh, Hammond on the high ground is a very dangerous position against the Genji, and oh, Nova wasn't going to let him get away.
Yeah, indeed, but good things to unpack here from that team fight. One, Asupek did not pull the katana out, so you still have that available. Also, Goopy did not pop the Transcendent, so you still have that available to deal with not only the Gravitic Flux or the Dragon Blade coming out.
Yeah, most likely holding that Transcendence for the Dragon Blade. Oh, see, just getting booped just before he gets to the high ground. The mines don't get placed where he needs it, but the Gravitic Flux is there for his team. Agape finding Seta at the very beginning of this fight on the Baptiste. And now the support line able to come out big and stall yet another push from We Showed Up. Sakura has a handle on this fight.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think that Wong Austin popping the rally in the middle of that fight, absolutely keeping people up, because they had a pretty good idea of what was coming in from C-Just. I think now's the time for a bit of a compositional shift. I know you don't want your beloved Hammond to come off the field, but I think going to either a pure dive or maybe some kind of a modified dive would be what's required here.
Yeah, and the Dragon Blade is actually what's required from both teams. But however, Sakura and Asupek not able to find the kills that they need in that last engagement. Oh, the animate from Kaingri. Not a kill, just a supercharger, but it's enough to make me be impressed.
Impressed, and I mean that really mitigated all the damage that was going to be able to come into them, and you have to think that that's an ultimate that has just been thrown by the wayside, and not getting enough damage right now is Sunbun. And how fast are they going to be able to get that supercharger back up?
He's going to need to be doing it as quickly as possible. If he can beat Seta to that supercharger, he'll be able to enable Asupek to beat Autocon to that Dragon Blade, which is what we want to see. Big Halt comes through, and Kaingri finding a kill on that anti-nade. And oh man, it's not often you want to observe the supports in the middle of a fight, but what a perfect moment there for Kaingri.
Yeah, absolutely. Just enabling and taking matters into their own hands. Just you know what? I'm just gonna go ahead and throw a nade in there, and I'm just gonna go ahead and scope out a couple of frags here, and lots of ultimate gain there by Kaingri once again. We're gonna have Nano Blade possibly available in the next fight.
As long as Kaingri can grab another stellar anti-nade that we had before, but Bob onto the field right here. We Showed Up, gonna have to back out a little bit of the immortality field, allowing Sakura to take the point. The Dragon Blade from Autocon isn't gonna wait for a Nano Blade. It wants the kill feed, and it wants the kills. Nightmare and Wong Austin both falling to the Cybernetic Ninja as Autocon continues to show up for We Showed Up.
I mean, showing up and showing out and just laying the shurikens into them. And I mean, this is gonna be a last minute hold. 1 minute 30 on the clock right now. It's gonna have the last ditch efforts here. Rally available. Gravitic Flux being thrown out by Nightmare. That's going to do some damage there.
Damage it will do, and Autocon still doing great job on this Genji, doing a masterclass, if you will, continuing to find the picks. There's 3. What are you doing?
That is absolutely insane, Steidel. Wow, what a performance there by Autocon, just taking matters into their own hands and almost single-handedly dealing with the defense of Sakura. Minute 7 left on the clock. That's a pretty decent time considering how much issue they had getting out of the gates.
It took We Showed Up quite but after that, after they were able to break that corner on the second point, they were able to just kind of roll through the majority of the point, and I really do think a lot of that is because of Kaingri and Autocon on this Ana Genji duo.
Yeah, absolutely. And I was questioning it even in the latter parts. When they were dealing with the Lucio and the boop that denied the mines where C just wanted them to be. He was just in their back lines, just creating so much havoc. And the mobility was just lethal for Sakura on their defense. Really well done there in the end. I like seeing the double shield coming out from them now. A lot more close to the meta, even though Kaingri, like I said, don't ever stop playing Ana because just the skill being shown by this healer is pretty darn good. But I also want to point out Agape on this Baptiste. The immortality fields, they're there. They're just absolutely mowing through them.
That they are. The question is, can Sakura bring the Widow to the Ash like We Showed Up tried to? Nova going to be on that Widowmaker, has a couple of shots available, just nothing lethal, and oh no, Nova! Able to find the dome of Speedy, no mercy on the table, no res available, 5v6 into the next fight. We showed up now put out into the open where there can just be a field day, but Autocon will shut Nova down on the sidelines.
What an anti-nade coming in from Kangri there, Steidel, and it's making Zeta have to walk back. I'm sorry, make Sunbun walk back, and I'm really wanting to see Zeta and Autocon get on the same page as far as the dashes into the halts and maybe the accretions as well coming out of C-Just. But right now, this corner is where all the fighting is going to happen.
Yeah, and talking about the coordination, Nightmare and Sunbun have been doing a great job of coordinating the accretion with the halt in order to get Nightmare up to this early gravitic flux, which he's going to be able to have for the end of this fight as Asupect and Nova go to town from quite a distance. Nova finding 3 kills in this engagement. Sakura will be able to take the first point, and they're going to walk into the second stretch with, what, 3, 4, almost 5 ultimates?
Yeah, almost 5 ultimate Shido, and I mean that's what you love to see. And I don't think that they really rushed it. I think they've been very patient in their build-up coming into the streets phase of Junkertown, and I mean they're going to have to watch out from the high ground. How are they going to displace? We showed up from the high ground. Well, one way is Asupect maybe getting again a Dragon Blade and going in behind them. Man, that could be something to really start this up.
Dragon Blades are always fancy and fun to watch. I really hope Asupect is able to find himself a good entry in. Speedy now with that Bob on board, but Sakura, Nova getting taken out by C-Just there. Unfortunate. Able to shoot just beneath the shield to find them. So, slow start, but Sakura's still in a very good position for this next fight as Zeta's supercharger times out.
Absolutely. I mean, you do have Gravitic Flux to kind of stall and maybe assassinate a couple people with the Gravitic Flux. What I'm really looking for is how is Speedy going to deploy the Butler, first of all.
Yeah. Is Bob going to do something? No, he's not. Nightmare is going to put that to bed. What a Gravitic Flux. What a follow-up. Whoa! Sakura is just trashing through We Showed Up right now. I mean, this second point had all but a slight glimmer of hope for We Showed Up.
I think that the supercharger put out by Sunbun just really facilitated that push through. 5 minutes almost on the clock for them to get through this from the inside of point 3 here. But I mean, 5 ultimates on the line before We Showed Up. I think, you know, building Blade, Nano Blade is always a good thing.
Always a good thing, especially when you can find yourself a couple of kills. Sadly, Autocon only able to find the first kill, and now the Blade comes out from Asupect. Immortality Field, Sleep Dart, both there. Supports that take care of each other win games. Sunbun able to find the kill on the Bob, but it's really just going to delay the inevitable spark. Sakura, however, looking for a beautiful TNT into the back line, not able to find the shot, however. Going to allow We Showed Up to disengage. But a lot of value gotten for We Showed Up as utility was spent from Sakura.
Absolutely. I mean, they pulled quite a few out of Sakura there, but Nova's going to have Bob available to contest and really harass the backline depending on where they deploy it. And Nightmare has another Gravitic Flux online ready to go. This could be big.
TNT into a Gravitic Flux is just an unfair pairing, especially when Bob's waiting for you when you land. Sakura and Nightmare are tearing through We Showed Up in a show of skill as they're able to push this payload through to the final golden box. Not really too much of a contest expected. I don't think they have the time as long as the rock is there. Nope, Tracer's going to be able to get out there. Speedy, sticking to their name, will be triggering that hold at the very, very end. See, just trying to tip the tails in his favor with that Gravitic Flux. Asupect finding the first kill onto Goopy, and We Showed Up still not able to find the picks that they need in these fights. Asupect continuing the masterclass on Genji as he finds both of the tanks, and the rest of the kills from his team back him up and give them a 3-minute time bank coming back in to our next push.
Measured aggression. That is what we just saw come out of Sakura, and part of the reason why they went undefeated through this Get Good NA season. Man, that was a masterclass, as you pointed out, coming from Asupek and Nova. I think that they may have felt a little bit wounded by not getting the value coming out maybe on the first map of Lijiang. And they put a pretty hefty time onto the time bank, and we're gonna have to see what We Showed Up is gonna show up with coming out of spawn.
Yeah, I mean, Sakura right now, they're going to be showing that Ashe, Genji, Orisa, Sigma, Baptiste Brig that we've seen most of this map. It's working right now. There were a couple of issues, a couple of misplays on their defense last time that I don't think they're worried about. They're going to capitalize on those, they're going to improve on those mistakes, and then they're going to be able to successfully hold. There's only a minute before We Showed Up, and like we said, last time, they had a little bit of issue, but what is this comp?
I mean, once again, they got a lot of value when Speedy went over to the Doomfist. You know, the one-hit potential, I think, is what they're going for, and you know, the escapability and more options in the kit instead of playing the sniper here. I think is what is required, and you know, it's a smart play as well.
Well, they're going to have to set things up in the perfect manner. CJS right now trying to avoid the Genji as he sets up this first pound. Going to be able to do it in coordination with his Winston and Genji, and that's going to open up a kill, but Sunbun is able to find Seta as well. If they're not able to take Asupek out of this fight, and soon, he's going to be able to continue to do what he does best, take out your teammates. We Showed Up not able to stay on the payload as this composition really does not have much payload presence.
Absolutely not. I mean, I think that the shielding also might be an issue here for the offense coming from We Showed Up. I think, you know, not a lot of value being gotten. The tickle damage is going to come in, and Primal Rage will be able to dissect and disrupt the team. But man, the focus fire coming from Asuspect is just so blindingly obvious right now, and you gotta love the aggression being shown by the defense.
Very much so. Sakura able to throw not only a double shield composition, but a very aggressive Baptiste, Ashe, and Genji. And against this dive, it's really just a superior composition. They're able to hold their own on the payload much better. Oh, Asupek. Genji Blade at spawn to take Kangri out. Being a little bit disrespectful, but it's not against the rules.
Ultimate disrespect. That's what we will say for that one. Not a lot of progress made there. Only 48.75 meters. So there's your win condition set to take the second point here. If you are Sakura.
And you really don't have to go far. It's just over yonder, just round the bend. So Nova and Asupek, no doubt, going to be coming out with a very aggressive DPS play. We Showed Up really has to be able to hold their ground. I mean, 3 minutes to hold at where this payload is. That's where a lot of teams, a lot of players prefer to hold for the first fight.
That is the question. Do you stand strong, really close to spawn, or do you let them get a little bit of progress? I think, you know, I would favor personally getting up in their face, maybe trying to do a little bit of a blitzkrieg from the side.
With staggering, you can get 2 fights.
Yeah, staggering and get a couple of fights under you and see how much your ult economy will actually go into it. I like seeing Speedy here on the McCree, maybe to deal with the Genji that Asuspect has been showing this entire map.
Well, Asuspect going to go ahead and stay on the Genji, and Nova, knowing that We Showed Up is going to have payload presence, taking advantage of the sight lines on this Widowmaker.
Indeed, and really harassing Goopy on the side there, getting a couple body shots in there. You've got to think if anybody goes down, it's pretty much going to be easy sailing there from them.
Oh man, Otacon trying to get something going, but Nova says no go right then and there, finding a few kills, and with that, with this team fight win, that's going to be it for We Showed Up. Sakura is going to be taking Junkertown.
Yeah, I mean, as clean as you like. Once Nova got those 2 picks, I mean, it was 4v6, and there's not much you can do into that. That being said, very entertaining second map here as Sakura goes up 2-0. Nightmare on this Sigma is absolutely putting on some filthy moves. These gravitic fluxes that he's been throwing out here, absolutely nasty.
Absolutely nasty indeed, and something's to be said about this kind of synergy that we're seeing in Sakura. They're going undefeated. They've been undefeated. There's a reason that that is happening, and now you're able to see why they have just continued to consistently play. We showed up, of course. They've got these flashy moments, but there's a reason they had to fight out of the losers bracket, and we're starting to see a couple of those cracks show up there on Junkertown.
I think it's the unwillingness to conform to the meta is part of the problem. I mean, running Brig and BAP, you have the immortality field, you've got obviously the amplification matrix, you've got the really solid healing coming out of Baptiste, both with the regenerative burst and the grenades. And then, with the Brigitte, the kit that Brigitte brings onto the field, I still think it is one of the superior flex supports. Not only do you have the CC ability, you also have the ability to flail people away or get an assassination with said flail. And then the rally. The rally, I think, is the most underappreciated part of the kit. The Inspire healing doesn't keep you up in the middle of a fight. Yes. Is it going to out heal a Baptiste or a Moira or a Ana? Probably not, unless you're like right in the mix, which we see Agape doing, or Wong Austin, depending on which one of them decides that they're going to play the Brigitte for that map. I think that Concrete is getting a lot of value on the Ana, but you might need to think about going to the BAP Brigitte support
That
line.
extra utility.
Yeah, I mean, mirroring is the sincerest form of flattery, and it also might keep your team up in the mid fight.
Well, those are some tips for We Showed Up as they go into our next map. But we're going to be taking a quick break, ladies and gentlemen. So please stay tuned as we give you the Sakura We Showed Up match at 2-0. Final map coming up next, maybe. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. We are bringing you Sakura versus We Showed Up in our GGNA Intermediate Finals. We Showed Up has had a little bit of a struggle facing off against our leader here, the undefeated Sakura, but they've still got some time to work things around, and they've chosen King's Row to be the map that is that turning point.
Indeed. And, looking at coming into King's Row, we did see a bit of Ryan Zarya on Control Center on Lijiang Tower, and Sunbun and Nightmare really got the lion's share of what was going on as far as the tank line. We've seen a really scrappy battle between Sita and Just and Sunbun and Nightmare in the tank departments. I think right now Sakura, Sunbun on the Orisa has shown a lot of skill in coordinating, the halt dashes that we've seen, the halt accretions that we've seen. I don't see any reason for them to change off of this composition that they've been running. The meta composition, I mean, they have absolutely been putting on a masterclass. Nova and Asupect, the DPS core, my goodness. I mean, Nova has found the range here in the past 2 maps, and they're on championship point here, Steidel.
They're not only is it championship point, but it's undefeated playthrough.
Golden season.
Yeah, they've been able to go through the entire season plus the tournament without losing a single matchup. So if they're able to send things home here on King's Row, a favorite of many an Overwatch player out there, especially if you're a fan of that Ryan Zarya composition.
I mean, I am. I also am a fan of the double shield, though. I really love the interplay between a good Orisa and a very solid Sigma player. And let us take a quick second out to really point out that Agape and Wong Austin in the support core, they're putting on a show. I mean, it's absolutely fantastic.
We've seen Agape in the kill feed more than most supports usually throw up there. And Wong Austin, of course, just the king of survival, enabling that insane stall on the first point of Lijiang Tower. Oh, sad day.
Oh,
No Omnics allowed, guys. They can't read books. They've got the internet. They'll find it on Audible. Something of this. I'm sure Amazon is still around.
I mean, I would hope so.
What if Amazon made the Omnics?
That's a scary thought in the extreme. Jeff Bezos, if you're listening to this, bad on you.
Jeff, we need you to talk to Jeff, okay?
Yep, Jeff, talk to Jeff. Asupek this time coming out not on the Genji, but on the Junkrat, showing a little bit of a different flavor as we're going to see them defend here on King's Row, as they have chosen that, having won Junkertown the previous map. Still pulling out everything else the same. Nova being on the Ash, and then looking at the same support and tank lines.
The Telly Bastion! It's the Telly Bastion! Speedy gonna be going to the top of the statue most likely. Otacon on the Symmetra. They're going for a cheeky. Oh no! The poop comes out from Asupek to demolish the dreams of me, and we showed up. Oh man. A couple of kills come through for Sakura, but Asupek reading like a book the composition that we showed up wanted to come with.
Yeah, absolutely. And I mean, that's gonna have to go back into the drawing books and come out with a more standard composition, because you've been showed up and showed out, and yeah, that's not gonna work now. So yeah, we're gonna go ahead and see Doomfist and Genji come out now for the side from We Showed Up, and losing the ultimate economy there, they're gonna have some catch up to do.
Not only are they gonna have to catch up a little bit, but you might as well serve some mustard at this barbecue, as the entirety of We Showed Up to thrive. Sakura able to hold this point steadily, and what started this off is a beautiful halt from Sunbun into a concussive mine from Asupek, who has just continued to just excel at these projectile heroes.
Absolutely. I mean, Tyre is almost online, so I mean that's going to be an instant worry before We Showed Up, because you're not going to know where it's coming from, especially if he gets up into a sneaky corner and is able to drive it up and over a wall, and you're never going to see it drop in on top of you.
Oh, see, just speaking of dropping in on top of you, there goes the Hammond with the ground and pound, matched with the sound barriers, able to get him a lot of extra healing, and this could be the play. We Showed Up finally finding a couple of kills as Otacon takes Agape out of the fight, but Nova and Sunbun have something to say as they find the kills and find their way. Wong Austin even getting the kill there onto Goopy, as we see Just back in the back line, possibly going to be able to stagger out Asupek or Agape.
I mean, it could happen, especially if he doesn't know what it's about. But look at that, Asupek coming back and helping to kite his healer back, and that's what you love to see, the peel for your healer. They had to know that Just was in the back line.
Yeah, and that's gonna allow for the amp matrix to come from that chokehold, but Otacon does not care about an amplification matrix. He's got a nano boosted Winston and a Dragon Blade in his hands. And that's gonna be it. We Showed Up. A minute 20 seconds, we'll be able to take the point.
Absolutely, and I mean that was exactly what was needed. But they did not invest any of those ultimates that they had brought up, other than the amplification matrix. So, you've got Bob, you've got Flux and Supercharger, and then the Tire.
Oh no, Senna on the Primal Rage, not able to get out of the fight in time. We Showed Up trying very hard to make sure that they don't get stuck at this first choke, that they don't get held up at this first corner. Yeah,
the archway here really lends itself to maybe stalling out payloads. I would rather see a Mei here, but I'm liking, Asupek just being able to spam not only concussion mines, but the grenades in there. Yeah, this is gonna be a very difficult aggression coming through the archway, and they did get those shielding set up, so it's gonna be really hard for them to get through here.
Yeah, a bit of a shield sandwich, if you will. Nightmare going in with the Gravitic Flux, able to find Setup, who came in on that divey attack, but not much more than that. Speedy and C just able to find the kills that they need. Both the tire and the supercharger taken out by Autocon before he takes Asupek out of the fight completely. And we showed up now having a bit of momentum. Some ults on the horizon are looking pretty good.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, you almost have the Dragon Blade available again, and looking at Kongri, Dragon or Nano Blade absolutely will be available to them. Agape is going to have the amplification matrix to kind of keep them in their place and really try to deny this corner. But I mean, the frags happen so fast that I don't know if they're going to be able to get back and get this set up in time before the point actually touches. Also, maybe a little bit of CC to deal with Speedy on this trader or on this tracer, or maybe bring it on the McCree instead of what you're seeing right now.
But the amplification matrix plus the McCree is gonna make it McCreasy for them to take this point back. Agape able to find the kill and a set of there as well. And 1.74 meters from their destination, we showed up. Is gonna have to leave the payload and go back to spawn.
Absolutely, and they listen to my wise and sage advice that I do like to give out from time to time. And swapping over to the Cowboy, Flashbang will stop Tracer 9 times out of 10 if you happen to land it in their vicinity. Sita and Cjust are going to have ultimates online, and you may be able to do a little bit of bowling here and start swiping people into mines once Cjust lays them down.
Yeah, Cjust is trying to make it so he's able to swipe through the enemy once, get that ultimate, drop them on them in the air. Oh, a little bit off centered there, but still able to get the mines exactly where he wants them. Able to take the break out of position. A little bit of Speedy finds that first kill, but Sunbun not going to allow them to get in and get out just as easily. Seta has the Primal Rage, and the tire coming out from Asupek is able to find Kangri into the back line. But we showed up, still trying to delay and push this cart a little bit further, but Long Austin has a different story to tell as Sunbun goes to trace down the Tracer. Speedy waving hello to say goodbye.
Yeah, absolutely, and I think that that might be time for a swap coming from Speedy. They may have been out of blinks or out of recalls or all the above. Yep, tactical death there. Going to go over to a little bit more brawly with the Doomfist coming in, but you've got Shatter, Flux, you've got Amplification Matrix, and you've also got Forget it!
Ooh, barely able to make it, but the Dragon Blade comes out. Autocon now has it in its pocket, going to be able to use that. The Nano Boost onto the Sigma to keep things alive for We Showed Up, but the kills are coming through for Sakura nice and easy. They're going to be able to stop this payload just before point 2 and give themselves a goal to win the tournament.
Absolutely. I mean, and they had all the ultimates ready to go. They were just banking their ultimates, allowing the push coming in from We Showed Up. They weathered the storm and then weathered the final pushes there. Last gasp from We Showed Up. So Sakura definitely have a win condition in mind, and that's to get it 112.91 meters, and you're going to become the champions of the intermediate division here at GGNA. Season 5.
Still undefeated. You better expect to see them in the expert division.
Yeah.
Next time around. I mean, at least that's my thing.
Yeah, season 6 is not too far away, as if I understand correctly.
It is not. But even closer than season 6 is season now. Also known as season 5. So we're gonna see. What do you think about this composition from We Showed Up? I mean, they're showing the Echo Ash, double shield, Mercy Baptiste.
I mean, obviously, Kangri is going to be there for the res, and it also probably damage boosting Speedy or Autocon. Damage boosting Ash is never a bad thing. Also being able to go into the air with Speedy, use that mobility, get some damage boost onto the sticky bombs. I think that's a very well constructed plan. I just want to see how they're going to deal with the halt dashes again.
Oh. We showed up's just gonna kind of pepper in a little bit of damage. You see Asupek already getting very aggressive there on the edge. They're gonna be able to advance very quickly around this statue. Speedy using that focus beam to help mitigate shield health and building up ults. 30%, however, to that Echo. Sakura has a very, very dominating presence on the payload. They're able to take out the Immortality Field pretty quickly. Nova finds the first kill on the Seta. Asupek with another onto Speedy, and the snowball begins.
Oh my goodness, and look at Asupek's ultimate meter, already 81%. That was a halt dash for the ages. Went from 30% up to 79% with one dash and a reset.
One dash.
Yeah.
One dash.
One dash.
Oh, there it is again. The halt into the secretion for Nightmare. Gonna put him 85% up to that gravitic flux. You see Asupek here going around the outside to find himself at 100% to that Dragon Blade. Waiting for the perfect moment to let loose on the enemy team. Finds the reflect. They've used their kinetic grasp. He doesn't have a nano blade, but doesn't need it because he's got a gravitic flux to weaken everybody and make them one dash, one kill. And there it is onto the Immortality Field, onto the Mercy to follow. And the kills continue to fall through for Sakura with 4 minutes and 50 seconds as they breeze through the streets.
I mean, that was as clean as you like, Steidel. That was filthy. And, you know, I mean, just the push coming through. I think Speedy, using this duplicate, is going to have to either get onto the Sigma or maybe get on the Brigitte and get a quick rally up to build up armor for their team.
That indeed, but with Bob on the field and Nova supporting, there's nothing to be done for We Showed Up. They have an Ashe in the background, but Otacon really not able to do much from where they stand.
Golden season complete, Steidel.
Congratulations, Sakura.
Congratulations, Sakura. Yeah, we expect to see you in the expert division next season, team. And for the side from We Showed Up, nothing to hang your heads about at all. You gave it all and just fell a little short in the end, but I still like the play coming out. There was flashes of brilliance, as we said, all night. But the night is carried by Sakura, just completely dominating in their performance over We Showed Up.
And like you said, you know, this is definitely a matter of We Showed Up having to go up against a team that is a little bit more synergistic, a little bit more not necessarily meta based, but they're able to tap into the meta a little bit stronger than you are when it comes to those compositions. But you won your way out of the losers bracket. You took the first map on Lijiang. You took the first point on Lijiang Tower. Valiant effort. You know, you got a couple plays of the game. Otacon went off. C-Just and Kangri were insane for the entirety of the matchup, but the entirety of Sakura just happened to be a little bit better of a full unit.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, you saw the coordination, you saw the comms on the battlefield. You could see when somebody was focused out, you saw almost everybody go to that point. And I think that it was probably a combination of comms and comfort in this meta right now that brought Sakura to their championship, and you'll love to see it.
Absolutely. And once again, congratulations to Sakura. Thank you to We Showed Up for coming out and, you know, showing up, having a good match. We are going to take a quick break and before we get into our expert division finals. So please do not go anywhere because the best of the best that we've got to bring are up next. Welcome back, everybody. We've got a little bit of surprise for you before we head out to our expert division finals. We've got a brief interview with the DPS stars from Sakura, our intermediate grand finalist winners. Oh man, how are you guys doing? Nova, you
I'm doing
there?
pretty good. I'm pretty excited.
There he is.
I'm here too. You know, I'm feeling pretty good.
I love the
All
swag.
right.
I love the swag.
So, we got to talk a little bit before we came out on the interview, but Nova, how did your team prepare for the grand finals? Like, what things did you do? What steps did you take to make sure you were prepared for whoever you saw in this final bracket?
Well, we had been scrimming a lot every other day, and we had started scrimming really high, in fact, around 3.9k, almost Grandmaster Elo, and that's just amazing to do. It's a really good experience, and we had a little bit of rough edges around our comms, and we had to flatten those out, and we did, and that's how we got so coordinated.
Well, speaking of your comms, I'm gonna go ahead and throw this one on over to Aspect. But what does the structure of the team look like? You know, coaching wise, shot calling wise, what's going on in those comms that we can't see? What's going on in those practices that we can't, really get a seat for?
Comms. I think the biggest part in comms is someone in Agape. Oh my, Agape did a lot. Agape Ultract, he made a lot of comms. But someone was the main shot caller and target caller, and he is like so smart. Bro, like some of the plays, I'll be like, wait, bro, that's so smart. That dude is a genius.
Well, it's always nice to have a genius making your play.
Yeah, he is a genius. Like he's so smart.
Right.
And then
Yeah,
our coach,
yeah.
our coach was also really good. He really helped us with like our comms as a whole because there were a lot of like misinformation or lack of information in our comm structure, and he really helped us a lot with that. Our coach goaded Cybertex.
Good coaching, good scouting. Seems like you guys are really putting all the building blocks together to be an expert division team.
Mm, maybe. You never know.
Maybe. Never know. I do want to, of course, give a little bit of a handout to, or shout out to the opposite team. We showed up, who fought you guys out.
Definitely.
What gave you the biggest issue? What did they bring to the table that you guys really had to stop and be like, okay, this is something that we needed to deal with. We need to change something. We need to address this.
Their nano blade was incredibly nasty. We just kept getting stuck with it on Junkertown, and that was the winners bracket finals. And after that, after we had won that, we came back. We came together as a team to look over our comms. Not only that, and to see how we could focus the Genji, see how we could counter the nano blade. And that's all up to our main tank, Sunbun. He did amazing with that. And all of us just ended up adapting to it. We did what he said, and we trusted what our main tank said, and we started rolling.
Nice to see that you have that kind of camaraderie and trust in your main tank. I mean, it takes a lot to kind of take that leap.
All right. So here's one from me. What's next for you and your team? We talked about this a little bit, and I kind of giggled at your response. What is up for Sakura after this tournament?
We're probably disbanding. We might spread apart.
Oh,
It's sad, but it is what it is. We were just made for GGNA. We came in, we won, went 14-0, and I think we're done. Any team looking for a flex DPS though, hit me up. Twitter.com/asupect, bro. ASUPEKT.
So,
is
obviously, here we want to give you guys a chance to shout out people that really made a difference to you, and people that maybe in scrim partners or coaches or anybody else that really influenced your run, your golden season through GGNA Intermediate. So I'm gonna leave it up to you here. Go ahead and get your shout outs.
You want to go first, Nova? I got a big one.
Also to add to what Aspect said about the team disbanding, yes, we are, and maybe we might come back. Maybe some of us just need a break. It really is just like that. I want to shout out.
step away for a little bit.
I want to shout out our coaches. We had two coaches actually, Cybertex and Zay. Zay was a top 30 Genji main, and he was amazing with coaching. I recommend him a lot.
It's also bad.
Cybertex is a real like both of these coaches were so good and so thorough with their explanations on how to dive, how to correctly run comps, and it was just really good to have that experience with those coaches. I also want to shout out a bunch of my friends that were watching the stream. You know who you are. I love y'all. And also, if you're looking for a hit scan DPS when I'm back on the market, Nova 3327 on Discord.
Well, there you have it, folks. Thank you, Nova.
Wait, nah, I need to shut up. I need to
Go
shut up,
for it.
people. Okay, I want to shout out to Pixel Master for giving me a go to Genji crosshair. I want to shout out Sleepy for telling me that I wouldn't do it. I want to shout out Fortle, Stewie, and DSI Syrup, who are my old teammates, and I improved a lot when I was on their team. I want to give a shout out to Warhawk DJ01 for being a really nice guy last night. Curious manager. I want to shout out to Cybertex, of course, coach. I want to get shout out the whole team. You know, someone Agape, Nova, me, Wong Austin, Eric as well, Tabarif, even though he didn't get any play time. And then I want to give a shout out to my mom for giving me enough time to play the games because I'm a little young boy. But then,
Shout out to the big M.
but then to finish it off though, I want to give the biggest shout out. Nobody already mentioned him. I want to give the biggest shout out to Zay because he just made me a much better player. He's an incredible guy. I have so much respect for him. He's kind of banned from GGNA, which is why I didn't say anything earlier. But he's just incredible. I have so much respect for him, and I know he's there. I love that guy, man. No homo.
Me too. I would also
You
like to
have
shout
it,
out
ladies and gentlemen. That is going to be it for our interview. But we are going to be back online in just a moment with those expert division finals. There will be an interview with a couple of the members of the winning team after that game. So please stay tuned. Thank you so much to the members of Sakura. Congratulations once again on being the champions.
Thank you.
Winnies.
Alright, guys.